How's it going, Hardwood Nation? You got your online hosts, Joseph Payton and Blake Baker here. We're at Vinton County. We just saw the TVC Girls Basketball Preview, and you know, Blake, it's pretty awesome to be back in a basketball court and just seeing some ball being played.
Yeah, it's that time of year again. Gridiron and Glory just had its finale last night, and we're in Hardwood season full swing. So let's get it kicked off. We saw a bunch of teams here. Every team that we cover except Waterford played in this tournament today. And we'll kick it off with Athens, a very young team. They lost a lot from last year. What did you see out of Athens today?
Well, like you said, Athens is a very young team. Didn't get the win today, but you know, moving forward, I think they're going to be all right.
Yeah, they're starting 4 sophomores and a freshman. Coach Paul McNeil, very iffy on this team. He hasn't seen a whole lot out of them because they don't have a whole lot of experience.
That's the thing. A lot of coaches like to use these previews, especially with young teams, to throw a lot of kids in there and get them playing time. So just because they didn't get the win doesn't mean that's the outlook on their season, but it does give you a little bit of an idea of what they're working with this year.
Yeah, one of the problems that plagued them last year was turnovers, and that inhibited their ability to score. So if they can get some of those young girls to really start scoring, they can win some games this year.
Absolutely. Then after that, we saw, Alexander played South Gallia. So Blake, what are some of the things that you saw from that game maybe that you liked or didn't like?
Well, South Gallia is another really young team, and that really hurt them going up against a very experienced Alexander team. Alexander had the size on them also, got a lot of offensive boards, gave themselves a lot of really good chances on offense.
And Alexander, they're one of the best teams in our coverage for sure. I mean, they won the TVC Ohio last year. They shared it with 2 other teams. Their starting 5 played. They were without Jalen Mace today. She was actually in the Ohio State volleyball all-star game, so congratulations to her for being a part of that. So she did miss today, but their starting 5 only played the first quarter. I mean, they didn't give up any points in the first quarter, so we got to see a lot of their younger players play in the second quarter.
Yeah, they did a really good job of shuffling some of those girls through. They're pretty deep. They have a lot of returners too. They return a lot of scoring on the offensive end, and they played really stout defense. Like you said, they gave up no points in that first quarter and only gave up 3 overall. They went on a 21-0 run that stemmed into the second quarter. So yeah, Alexander looked really sharp today.
And I'm looking for them to be sharp for the rest of the year, but let's move on. We also saw Meigs and Federal Hocking play each other today, and I really thought Cassidy Betzinger had a pretty good game for Meigs.
Yeah, she headlined an offense that really did a good job moving the ball around. When they struggled to score a little bit early, but they moved the ball around really well. I think on a couple possessions they scored, they got all 5 of their girls to touch the ball. So that really helped them get the ball down low, get them some nice easy shots and find the open person.
And that honestly may have been the best game we saw today. I mean, Meigs got the win 27-24. So like I said, it's always fun to be back in here and see some good basketball being played.
Yeah, and Fed Hawk really surprised us too. I don't know how much we expected out of Fed Hawk coming off of a rough season last year, but they put together a good end of their season last year and they picked right back up. They were leading the game for most of that first quarter and gave Meigs a pretty good run for their money.
So let's move on. Let's talk about maybe the biggest surprise from the preview today. Eastern playing Nelsonville-York, and Nelsonville-York just ran them out of the gym really, 44-16.
Yeah, Eastern didn't have a great showing, but they didn't look too upset about that. It wasn't all doom and gloom because they realized that Nelsonville-York is very talented. Nelsonville-York came out, dropped 44.5 against Eastern, who's very talented also. They returned a lot, but they were missing Madison Williams. That definitely hurt them, but Nelsonville-York did a really good job of keeping Lauren Pollins and Liz Collins in check.
Yeah, for sure. Jessie Addis for Nelsonville-York. We're going to hear her name a lot. I mean, we've heard it on the show before. You're going to hear it a lot this year, and I think she really played a very good game today. She's a very athletic player, one of the best guards in our coverage and in this area in general.
She's just such a good catalyst for that team. She's so quick. She's such a good communicator. You can hear her yelling out there on the court, getting everybody involved. She got great hands and a bunch of steals that turned into points for her team. So, yeah, they're going to really value her this season.
We'll move on to the last game we saw, Vinton County and Trimble. These are 2 teams that have lost a lot of offensive production from last year. Trimble missing arguably their best offensive weapon from last year, Nikki Kish, and Vinton County, they lost Michaela Puckett from last year. So what did you think both teams looked like? Because they really had a new look coming into this season.
Yeah, Trimble had a definite size disadvantage. Vinton County had a lot of 3, 4, 5 girls that really played well. They had Sammy Jo Thompson and Cassie Bentley came in, and that's their new 1-2 punch. After they lose Michaela Puckett and Jalen Hale, they got a brand new 1-2 punch, and it looks like they didn't miss a beat.
I agree with everything right there. Like we've said earlier, it's hard to tell with previews. Not everybody shows a whole lot of their offense. Teams are new. We're rotating a lot of players in there that you may not often see, but it's good to be back out here.
Yeah, definitely. And some of these teams, too, we should note that Trimble only has 8 girls. NY only had 9 players today, too, so it's a good chance for these teams that don't have a whole lot of depth to really get in and get some good quality reps before the season starts.
All right, sounds good. Well, I know I can speak for you and I can speak for everyone at Hardwood. We're ready for this season to get started. So for Hardwood Heroes, Blake Baker and Joseph Payton, we're reminding you to be heroic.